your friends all have to say.
Hi, and welcome to Pillow Talk with Angela. I'm your host, Angela Stribling, and we're going to have a good time tonight. A much needed conversation, and I have a feeling it's going to be pretty juicy. So feel free to comment as much as possible and share the link. We're pre-recording it, so you can, post your comments whenever you feel like it, and tell everybody they need to be here with us in this conversation. All right, I brought two of my dear friends along, and like I said, a much needed conversation. So let's just bring them on and get into it. We're, just on the heels of Pride Month, what better time to talk about Pride and the LGBTQ plus community, what's happening now, how far have they come, and what still needs to be done. So I know a strong advocate and supporter of the community is my dear friend who I work with, one of my radio brothers, Easy Street. I love him so much. Of course, you listen to him every Saturday and beyond. He's on there, at least every Saturday, but he does some more things. He's one of the highest paid DJs across the country. So if you really want your event to sound like something, you might want to hit him up. He's also the executive producer and host of Live from the District Digital Series, founder of Creative Solutions for Youth, and a whole lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the handsome and talented Easy Street.
Hey, Angela, thank you. I don't know about the highest paid part. I mean,
we got to get the money up.
Yeah, the highest paid part has nothing to do with radio at all.
Okay. Hey, I'm trying. Trying to get you more money. It's so good to see you. And okay, so we have another friend who's joining us, and I can't wait to talk to him. My gosh, Justin Stewart and I go way back. I used to host these segments on WJLA, in DC. And Justin was one of the really cool producers. I always loved seeing him coming because he always had a big smile on his face and so much personality, and nothing has changed there. So Justin Stewart, he's a journalist, NBC Washington, News for Today right now, and formerly NBC Early Today, Fox 5, Good Day DC, and of course WJLA. Well, he was Good Morning America, but I worked with him at WJLA. Please welcome the handsome Justin Stewart.
Hello,
I should say,
Angela. Hi, Easy.
Hi. How you doing? How are both of you guys?
I'm blessed. Highly favored, excited to have this conversation, and excited to be here with one of my best friends.
Well, and yeah, that is my best friend, but I'm a little upset because he just came back from Cabo, and the tan looks amazing, but I wasn't invited on that trip at all.
I mean, that is just not right. And this is your best friend.
It was the event to be at. It was the wedding vow renewal influencer event to attend. It was definitely was one of those events that I will not forget. It was the wedding of the century for me.
Oh my God. Now, you know what? There was another wedding going at the same time. You know, the comedian Tony Baker? Was he at that wedding?
He was at their wedding. Yes, our friends Kev on stage and Melissa, Mrs. Kev on stage and Mr. Kev on stage, Kevin and Melissa Frederick renewed their vows after 20 years. So we were all at that wedding celebrating Black love and just amongst very beautiful, amazing, successful Black people. It was a time was had, honey.
I mean, it looks like everybody who is anybody was there except Easy and me. Okay, we're going to have to work on that. But okay, let's talk about why we're here. We're going to, next time, next big wedding in a beautiful place. Easy. We're there.
You get an invite. You get an invite.
Just us two. The rest can worry about themselves. Okay. So here we are, just on the heels of Pride Month. And, if I can set this up, if I may. So back in the day, well, I shouldn't say it like that, but I used to host this really cool TV show on BET, Screen Scene, with Melvin Lindsay, who was my best friend. And Melvin and I worked together every day. Beautiful man, just physically just gorgeous. And his spirit was even more beautiful. And Melvin was gay, and it was at a time that he couldn't tell anybody. Those who knew, but if they didn't know, he didn't want it out there, mainly because of his profession. I mean, he didn't even talk to me about it until his last days. Unfortunately, we lost him to AIDS. That was before they figured it out, the medications. But it was just always so just crushing to me, just how, I mean, I was always his date when we'd go someplace, which was fun, but I knew I was not his first choice. And it was because, again, it was at a time that it wasn't cool, especially professionally, to really come out. So we've come a long way from there, in terms of being able to say, this is who I am. I think we've come a long way. However, I would like to talk about how far has the community really come?
Well, Angela, I have to say thank you for loving your friend and supporting your friend,
Yeah.
despite knowing or not knowing his gender identity or sexuality and all of the things.
Oh, I knew. Yeah, we all knew. Yeah.
Yeah, I, for one, am grateful for all of my ancestors who paved the way for me to live my life out loud and out proud. I am growing up in a world where I still fear, walking down the street as a Black, queer, effeminate man. But in my profession that I, work in as a journalist in the TV industry, I am out. I am proud. I, pitch and try to find stories related to the LGBTQIA plus community, especially when it comes to related to the Black LGBTQIA plus community. I feel like a lot of the times in the white queer community, stories are always, out there. When it relates to us, people of color, it's kind of hard to push through. We live in a world where progress has been made, but we have so much more progress to go. There are people who are still living in the shadows today, for various reasons. And even though we have progressed, there are still, it's not safe for everybody to come out. Coming out isn't an experience that, is a fun experience for a lot of us. It's anxiety driven. It's a very anxiety inducing experience for us. But thankfully, I myself, I'm blessed to have people around me like Easy who love and appreciate me and whatever era I'm in and however I present myself. So I'm grateful and blessed to have a career and people who foster my identity and appreciate it and affirm it.
Definitely a blessing. And, it's funny, there's a strong member in the DC community, Racine, who, I love, oh my God, so grand, right? And so Easy and I, well, Racine calls on us to host, and participate in different events. And I remember the first time I answered the call and I was there, I don't remember the nature of that particular event, but of course I'm going to say yes, however I can help. And I saw you there, Easy. And I remember a conversation. I was like, wow, I'm so happy to see you, because we never talked about the LGBTQ plus community at all, never had a conversation. And I don't know what I said to you. I said something like, I'm glad to see you here supporting them. And you said, of course, because if we don't help them, who will? It touched my heart. So begs the question, talk about why you are a supporter and you're always there and always so strong. Talk about it.
So that comes from a spiritual place for me, me being, a believer and accepting Christ into my life. I have a sticky note that's on my door that I consciously and subconsciously see every single day that says love everybody.
Mm.
Love everybody. And that applies to uh, race, gender identity, sexuality. From a spiritual standpoint, that's the way I have always been raised. It is to love everybody and not to have these boundaries. And so, I took that very literally from a spiritual standpoint. And as I began to grow and mature into my manhood, I realized that I needed to extend that love to every single person. And I know you didn't ask this question yet, but let's go ahead and get right into it.
Huh.
Um, Justin was working at WJLA. Shout out to Julie Wright, who invited me to come to
Oh,
be
I know Julie.
on one of the episodes for something that I was doing in the community. And this producer came up to me, and we had on the same shoes.
Yeah.
We had
Nice.
on this. This. I didn't know Justin, but he had on this. We had on the same exact
shoes.
Timberland boots, and I was like, I thought that was odd, but it was kind of like a sign. Signs, wonders. I believe in those things. I was like, who is this person? And then as I got to know Justin, and spend time with him, like I'm attracted to, from a friendship standpoint, to people that are courageous. I like courageous individuals, like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Jesus, Justin Stewart. I mean, the fact that, yes, I put him in that company because he was just so comfortable and confident in his skin that I was like, how can I not like this guy?
Exactly.
And that's how we began to develop our friendship, and we've been going strong since.
That's so beautiful. And you know what I also love and appreciate? So we met him at the same place. That's wonderful. But a lot of people who talk the talk, and they are also, spiritual people, but they would be more afraid of being judged if they were in your shoes, easy, and say, how can I be straight, have a best friend who's openly gay, and be seen together and publicly proclaim our friendship, and for people not to say, well, Easy must be gay. What? You know what I mean? Because people are like that.
They really are. And the DMV loves us, and we get that. We get that. As best friends, we do get that. And I have to thank him for being so strong in his masculinity and his heterosexuality to defend me and defend our relationship and stand 10 toes down in it. And never has he even had to utter any word, but we all know he's gotten it, I've gotten it, the messages or, the snicker or the look, but he's never even had to even look over his shoulder or even think about it. So as my best friend, I feel that in my heart. I feel it in my soul. I feel his support. Now, I have other cis hetero people in my life where when it comes to us spending time together and bonding, that does become an issue. But with this one right here, no problem.
Yeah. It's, speaking of just courageous and really, being who you say you are, it takes courage. It really does. And, just like you just explained, there are some other people who would say they're your friend, but then they don't want to be hanging out with you publicly because of what people might assume, right? And, and it's kind of a shame. I mean, again, with my close relationship with Melvin was my best friend. And we would spend, Monday through Friday, we'd work together on BET doing live TV. On Thursdays, we'd tape our show in Baltimore together. And then on the weekends, we'd just hang out together just because, just because we could. So just a genuine love. And it looks like you guys have the same type of thing. And it's to find someone who you can just really click with and who genuinely has your back. I mean, that's a gift from God. When you say
absolutely, it's a gift. One of the things that I'll say is, just to piggyback off of what Justin just said, is like, there are going to be people that have these ideas. Well, is he not? But at this age, it's like you stop giving a damn what people think about you in any area of your life.
Hello.
It's like, bro, me and Justin's relationship is between me and him and God and nobody else.
Yeah.
No one else. So I stopped giving a damn and just, accepted my brother for who he is. But the other part that I think is also, and it kind of goes into what you just said, Angela, is this. Not to get too deep, but I think that, one of the reasons why that for me at least, I'm just letting everyone know that, like, that this is my BFF, that this is family here is because I think that we need more of that in the community. We
Yes.
need more African American men who are comfortable in their skin to be like, hey man, that's my brother, man. What are you talking about? Why are you tripping about, who he sleeps with, or is his sexual identity? That's none of your damn business, bro.
None of your business.
It's
Yeah.
none of your business. So, that's the other thing. I wanna lead by example. I want people to be able to see our beautiful, loving relationship and understand that yes, he may be, who he is, and I may be who I am, but we can still be able to be, peaceful and coexist and still love each other like brothers.
Yeah.
Support one another. Yeah. Our
You know,
relationship is very inspiring.
it's nobody's business. Just like you said, it's nobody's business. And you deserve to live your own life on your own terms, however you want to live it. So we talked a little bit earlier about, okay, there's been progress, there's definitely been progress, but there needs to be more. So starting from there, what would you say are some of the first things that need to happen that is still a major struggle for, members of the community?
For me, from my standpoint, I look at it as we just need more support from cis hetero allies and, across the board. Relationships and conversations like this, not just during Pride Month. I always stress that I am Black, gay, and proud 365 days a week.
Hello.
365 days a year. Sorry. I'm Black, gay, and proud 365 days a year. And it seems to be that, people are only really interested in our community and want to tap in when it's Pride Month. And outside of it, they don't care about us unless there's a scandalous story. But on a normal day, nobody's caring about the progress of the community. No one's coming to meetings to help different organizations put on different showcases. And as you mentioned, Racine giving you a call to invite you to be there, to have your presence, and your voice heard, and to show your allyship. So for me, it's telling my cis hetero brothers and sisters to come join us. We're all fighting the good fight. None of us are free unless we're all free. And all of our communities, the straight, the gay, the Black, the white, the trans, the non-binary, all have a struggle. Yeah. And I think that if we all continue to come together, have conversations like this, where we can maturely and adultly speak about our differences, but also speak about our strengths together, is how we make progress. Seeing people, bully other folk online and then posting it for likes and views, those are the things that, social media has brung in scandalous stories into our mainstream world in today's day. And it seems like, different blogs are only interested in, getting the taps and the likes based off the scandalous stories related to LGBTQIA plus community, when we're just trying to exist. So that's where I would start there.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Easy, anything you want to add to that?
I think that what you see, as far as from the outside looking in, and me and Justin's friendship in our relationship is part of the solution. Like you said about the allyship, us being open about like who we are and with our relationship. Just like if I was with DJ Gemini, or if I was with Shamari Stone, who's just sitting right there,
Just happen to be with.
It's no different.
How about?
Yeah.
Now is my.
Listen, don't go there, Justin. You've been on this boat, you've driven the boat, and all of that. So don't even give me that.
Okay, I'm the only one who hasn't been on the boat.
I cannot be jealous right now.
You can be jealous, Justin. I can be a little, although I'm kind of living my best life out here in California at the moment, so I can't.
But
really.
just to finish up the thought, though, is our relationship. I would hope that other people would see it and understand that, hey, man, you can be comfortable with who you are and have somebody, that has a different gender identity. And I think that it's important. I think that really it needs to start in our. It would be great to have just a regular friend, but we need to start in our families. Like I have LGBTQIA identifying individuals in my family. I have family members that have transitioned, you know, have transitioned, and are transgenders, and so I let my love amongst my family be known for those individuals, even though some of my family members have ostracized them and kind of outcast them, because I want to send a clear signal to my family and anyone else looking that, look, man, you hating on your own blood like that, or even somebody that has a different choice of like who they want to be, it
Yeah.
ain't right.
Yeah.
So that's how I live it.
Yeah, I love that. God bless you for that. I mean, and Justin, you mentioned just the violence, like sometimes just walking down the street,
Yeah.
as being proud and living your life as
Can
you
be
who
dangerous for
you are
you.
can be
For
dangerous.
the last few years, you know, trans, especially gender nonconforming and trans Black people, especially trans women of color, have been murdered at high rates.
Mm,
The news doesn't cover that, especially it only negates around relates to Pride when we're all like, oh well, 12 trans women have been killed, but on a normal Tuesday when someone is murdered, we're not covering that murder, or if we are, we're misgendering or identifying them.
yeah,
So I'm also thinking about adding conversations and taking what you're learning from the people, the LGBTQIA plus individuals in your life who are educating you, just through their presence and just through conversations like this, and taking that to other places and
yeah,
encouraging other people to do background research and think about all the contributions that LGBTQIA plus people have made to society. We've been around since the beginning of time, since the Bible
yes,
ages. We've been around. We didn't just didn't pop up. A
that's right.
trans woman, made the technology for us to have smartphones. Okay, a Black gay man created the high five. There are things like that are in society that a lot of people don't understand. You mentioned Martin Luther King, but Bayard Rustin was the man behind, a Black gay man was behind planning the March on Washington,
Yeah,
for jobs and freedoms. So Martin Luther King could give that
that's right.
speech, and he had to
Wait,
take a back seat
that's
because
right.
of his sexuality. So there are
Yeah,
things that are in society that I always tell people to just educate yourself. You
yeah,
know, find
yeah,
facts that you can, be. I pride myself, and behind on my other side of my mantle is a whole bunch of LGBTQI plus books, because I pride myself in finding these stories because I didn't learn them in school. I
yeah,
grew up in DMV. I grew up in Prince George's and DC County public schools, and not one time did I ever learn about a queer hero.
yeah.
So I'm taking it upon myself as a 36-year-old individual, to educate myself, to learn more about the history and what we've contributed to society and how we can continue to do so.
Yeah, and that's
And
a
I
start.
challenge others to do the same.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And hopefully people who are watching and listening to this show on the radio and watching it here on social media will follow your lead with just educating themselves. And I think in time, just that fear will go away, because it's the
Yeah.
fear of the unknown that always frightens people. And that's, what I think this is primarily.
Yeah.
We're all people, we're all God's people. And if
Yeah.
you're really, as to Easy's point earlier, if we're really paying attention and trying to walk the walk, God loves all of us, and
All
it's all
people.
about
Yeah.
love, all of
Yeah.
us.
And I
To,
encourage you not to be afraid to ask questions, but do
mm,
so in a mature way. When
yeah,
you're talking to trans people, don't always just ask about, surgeries.
mm,
Don't always ask about what their, body modifications or gender affirming care is. Speak to them as a human being, because that's
ooh,
what they are first.
mm,
And so I always just challenge people, you can ask questions. We all don't understand everything, and everybody's walk in life period, no matter if you're gay, straight, bi, trans, whatever it is, it's different. We all relate on certain levels, but our walk is different, our testimonies are
yes,
different. So
yeah,
I always encourage people, if you know a trans individual, have a go to lunch, have a conversation with them,
yeah.
not just about their transness, but about their humanity.
How about that? And it's so, I love that you said that, Justin, because I'm going to equate that with Black women in our hair. We don't want people, especially if a white woman is saying, "Oh, your hair, it's so curly. Is that real? Is that?"
Yeah.
We don't want somebody coming in here doing that.
Yep.
However, I mean, I have friends of all races, and if you're going to come up and talk to me and really be my friend and have
Yeah.
legitimate concern and, you know, questions because we are different, then yeah, you can go ahead. But don't walk up and, you know what I mean? It's kind of a
Get to
similar
get
thing
to know
because
the
we're
person. Yeah.
different. Doesn't mean you got to treat me like it's a freak show.
Right, because it's not a freak show. We're
Just-
all just trying to exist and survive. And the thing about that, I like to tell people, everybody taps into gender affirming care. It's not just for trans and non-binary people at all. When you go to get your BBL, that's gender affirming care. When you go to get your breast lift, or breast done, that's gender affirming care. When you go to, you know, get your hormones, because men take testosterone or women take testosterone, men take estrogen and all the other things that you can take to balance you out, and to help you, that's gender affirming care. When you go put on your lashes and your lipstick and your makeup, you're doing gender affirming care on the outside. Gender affirming care doesn't just relate to surgery.
Isn't that interesting,
So
though?
I have to remind people, like, there's small little things that you're upset about when it relates to trans and non-binary people that you're doing every day in life.
That's right. Rag, honey.
I like to remind them of that, because then when you break it down in simple terms, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I understand it," or "Is it?" And they start to question themselves and start to question everything that they've ever been taught. But they've never, because they were taught it, they never pushed back on it from anybody about anything. I grew up. That's what I learned. Well, did you ever question that? No. That's just what my daddy taught me. That's what my mama taught me. But they taught you transphobia. They taught you homophobia. They taught you discrimination. No child ever grows out of a womb or grows up to be a racist.
Exactly. And to that point, as adults, though, it's up to us to educate ourselves and do better. And I'm hoping, just from conversations like this, which I absolutely love, and I'm so grateful to both of you for spending the time. And it's a process. I mean, we've come far, but we've got so much farther to go. And I think, as you both have said, it's conversations like that, learning our similarities, and not focusing so much on our differences, and bridging that gap. We're all God's people. He made us all
equally.
Yay.
And I feel blessed to be who I am. And I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was joking around, and he was like, "So what would you do if you were straight?" And I'd be like, "Be bored."
You're like, something ain't right.
I feel like my queerness adds to my uniqueness. And I'm blessed to have my blackness and my queerness all in one body. I'm blessed to have been created to be myself and have grown into the talented, amazing, beautiful person that I am. And I use who I am as a way to help educate people and to show people that you can be Black, successful, queer. There's so many of us out there. And so many of us who've already paved the way. And like I said earlier, I thank all of my ancestors who went through all of the things that they did, who've been shackled, locked up, killed, pushed out of their jobs, shamed, murdered because of who they are. And there was a point in time in the United States you were kicked out of the government because you were queer. You were called a communist.
I mean, just horrible treatment just with Melvin, like people just, loudly, publicly saying things to him just because they figured out that he was gay. And it made no sense to either one of us. And it just really showed their ignorance. And, again, I just want more conversations like this. And I would love to invite you two back,
Yes, please.
Yeah, you do it? That would be awesome. There's another friend. Remember Katie Couric, of course.
Yes.
And she is also, we're growing to be really good friends. And I was trying to get her as a surprise on this particular one. But in the future, I would love to have her join us.
I met her twice.
Yeah, she's incredible. And she wants to come on the show too.
Tell her Justin Stewart said hello for the third time.
Okay, I will. How about Easy? Shout out from Easy as well. I love you two so much. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much
Appreciate
for
you.
spending time
Thank
All
you
with
for
us.
right,
this
love you
beautiful
too.
conversation.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. Have a great day. All right, Easy, you have fun on the boat. Justin, you have fun recovering from your amazing Cabo retreat.
Thank you. I'm over here content creating as we speak, honey.
Hold on, you guys. Somebody wants to say hi. Hold on.
Uh-oh, we've got more celebrities.
Hey, how are you? Justin, how are you doing?
Hello, Fox 5, Shamar Stone.
It's a pleasure seeing you. Yes, I overheard some of the conversation, but I do know, and I will say this, that I, as a friend, if you're somebody's friend, I'm not here to judge you. You're not here to judge me. We are friends. No matter your sexuality, your gender, I don't care about that. I care about you as a person, because some of my greatest friends have been part of the LGBTQ community, in which loyal, just nice to me. You understand? Then I'll have some other people who I thought were my friends, and they're not part of that community, and they weren't good friends. So, do you understand what I'm saying? I say that to say what Dr. King said. I know it sounds like a cliche, but I am keeping it real. I judge people by the content of their character, who they are as a person. That's all I wanted to say.
Love you, Shamar.
That's all he wanted to say. Hold on, say hi. Gemini.
Yo, what up, y'all? I didn't hear that entire conversation. I was smoking my cigar. Now I'm a little different from so I judge people by their football team. All right.
He's like, I'm just keeping it real.
You know, I'm a Baltimore. If you like the Ravens, New York Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Who has the cutest roster? I'm only whoever has the cutest roster.
Don't listen to this guy. Love you both, man. Y'all take
Love
care.
you. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you both so much.
All right,
See you
bye-bye.
later.
Wait, Shamari lost so much weight, I almost didn't recognize him.
Yeah, 47 pounds. No more chubby Shamari.
You look
We love you, whatever body you should be.
looking good at what Enjoy the rest of the day.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.